All praises to Yahawah, Ba'asham Yahawashi, Ba'asham Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on the many enemies of Yahawah, the many enemies of Yahawashi, the many enemies of the Israelites, the many enemies of the elected nation of Israel, the many enemies of the scriptures, man, right? Because there's so many people that fit into those groups, man. Basically, the majority of the world are enemies to Yahawah, enemies to Yahawashi, enemies to the Israelites, right? Enemies to the elected nation of Israel, and enemies to the words of Yahawah, right? Everyone on the earth, majority, is an enemy. This is Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. And most of these people on this earth, they've got all these different ways that they believe are true enlightenment, right? You got a whole bunch of bug outs that they want to try and talk about the Quran, right? But in talking about their book, they can't help themselves but mention the Bible. And then they'll try and say that the Bible's been changed, right? Some will say, oh, there was the Old Testament and there was the New Testament, and then there was the final testament, which is the Quran, as if the Old Testament is not an actual covenant, and as if the New Testament is not an actual covenant that cannot be broke. And that's where these people's folly is shown, because what is the New Testament or the New Covenant, man? And these people don't even know. They think that the New Testament is from Matthew, right, to Revelation, which technically is. But what is the testament, or what is the covenant? And I'm going to read it quickly. Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 10. For this is the covenant or the testament that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahawah. I'll put my law into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. That's what the New Testament or the New Covenant is, right? And that cannot be broken, because once the laws are finally in the Israelites' minds, set in there, it's not possible for them to sin anymore. Verse 11, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. Because one of the things that these Muslims like to say as well is that the Israelites were the chosen, but then they sinned, right? But the sins of the Israelites never caused for them to be cast out as being a nation. The sins caused for them to be cursed. There was nowhere in the scriptures that it ever said that because the Israelites keep sinning, that Yahweh is going to just cast them away and never have mercy on them again. And I'm going to get a scripture to prove that, because these people want to try and say that the Bible's been changed, right? That's one of their main things that they like to say. And part of the reason why is because, oh, there's so many versions, as if there's ain't more than one version of the Quran. It's ridiculous. All the things that they say to us about our book being changed, we can say to them about their book being changed. We can say the same things to them. Exactly the same statements, man. So what brings validity to the book? Prophecy does, right? We can read our book and say we think this particular thing is going to happen because it says it in our book. And when it happens, that's going to give validity to the book. But they just want to keep trying to run their mouth talking about how the Bible's been changed, right? But then they want to try and use the Bible in certain situations to try and show their fake prophets are in there. But how would you, if you're saying that this been changed, how would you know that's not the part that's been changed then? They're jokers, man. They're jokers. Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 35. So lucky, yeah. Thus saith Yahawah, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahawah of hosts is his name, right? If those ordinances depart from before me, saith Yahawah, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Right? Now that ain't happened and it ain't gonna happen. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith Yahawah, if heaven above can be measured and the foundation of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith Yahawah. And what the thing with these Muslim cats is that they want to try and bring in as many people that believe in the Bible to their religion. So they'll say, "Oh, we believe in the Messiah. We believe in the Messiah, man. Yeah, we believe he was the best." Some of them will say, "We believe he was the best man to ever walk the earth." They'll say even go so far saying, "Yeah, we believe that the Messiah was even better than Muhammad, man. We believe that." But and then that's where the wickedness comes in. But we don't believe he was the Son of God. Well, then you're an Antichrist then. But we don't believe you're supposed to worship him. But then every single time they say their fake prophet's name, they're always saying some peace be and all of this. So why are they doing that then? They worship that. Whether they want to admit it or not, they really worship. They do worship a man themselves. They worship that man that's meant to be their prophet of their thing, man, which he ain't got no prophecies, by the way. Right? So that's one enemy of the Israelites, and they'll get angry when you say this stuff, right? And they'll want to fight you because they can't prove their thing just with the book. You know what I mean? And then when they're talking to anyone, they always have to try and touch them. They gotta do all these weird hand positions and weird feet positions. They always want to try and talk like there's some scholarly person and that, but they can't just go into their book and show the things. And they've copied the Hebrew Israelites in so many ways. It's ridiculous. The Hebrew Israelites started going out and talking about their God, and then now you're starting to see some certain of them trying to copy that, and even the Christians have tried to copy, man. All the many enemies of the Israelites, man. All the many enemies. Psalm chapter 83 and verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. And there's those Muslims, those Ishmaelites within that, they hate us. And the Israelites within that, they hate us too. Right? Esau, he hates our guts, man. Right? He complains when we're fogged out criminals. Then he complains when we're not doing that too. He complains about everything that we do. He complains when we're reading the Bible, right? He complains when we're not reading the Bible according to his way. He got a complaint all over, man. He just wants to own us. Ultimately, he thinks he can own us, man. He thinks that we're his property when we belong to Yahawah. And that's the same thing that Pharaoh did. Pharaoh thought that the Israelites were his property. And he didn't want to let them go, man. And every time he did want to let them go, Yahawah put it in his mind to say, nah, I'm not letting you go. Just so that Yahawah could jack him up, man. And that's exactly what's happening to Esau. And that's what's happening to all these heathen nations too. All these other ones. Verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. So at the higher levels of all of these nations, they know that we're the Israelites. They know. But the lower level people, they'll come up in front of us and talk their mouth, running their mouth off. Oh, it's been changed. It's been changed. But look, in this part, it mentions my prophet. No, it don't. You're making it up. It's been changed. It's been changed. But it says that there's a prophet that's going to be like unto you. Yeah, and that would be an Israelite, dumbass. But you wanted to try and make it be your nation. But it's clear in the Bible that it says that your nation are not going to be the people of the covenant in the Bible. But how comes they ain't read that when they're doing all their talking? How comes they ain't read in the Bible? Since they want to try and find all these parts in the Bible, how comes they ain't just read in there where it says that the new covenant is for the Israelites? How comes they ain't read that? However, they managed to skip over the part in the Bible where it says that the Israelites have got an everlasting covenant. So if the Israelites have got an everlasting covenant, right, that is where the laws get put in their mind and put in their hearts. Why would God need to then make a whole nother book, right? And then now all of a sudden that new book is for everyone. When every other time it was only for the Israelites, but now the new changed version is somehow for everyone. That's the same madness that Christianity are trying to talk pretty much. That's still another version of replacement theology, man. That's just the Ishmaelites' way of trying to do replacement theology. And the Christian church have got their own way as well. They've all got that story. Oh, the Israelites sinned, so it's our kingdom now. Nah, it ain't, fam. It ain't your kingdom now. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And those Ishmaelites are trying to do that too. Esau is trying to do it. All of these nations are trying to do it, man. And they've got these made up doctrines that they come with, right? Because they're our enemy, man. They don't want us to have a kingdom. And that's why they're offended when we start saying that we don't believe that our God ain't the same as theirs. Our God ain't the same as the God of the Ishmaelites, man. We're not the same. And they need our energy, man. They're desperate for us to be in their things, man. Because if they're not, why they keep trying to make a common ground for? Why they always want to try and make a common ground, man? Why did they get so gassed up when that dodgy cat Tate started saying that he's one of their thing on one of their thing now? Why are they so gassed up to always mention Ali? Why are they so gassed up that certain of our people, Javante Davis, Devin Haney and all that, you know what I mean? Jared Miller, why are they so gassed up when we change and follow after their madness? Why? They have said, for verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And that's what they want to do. They don't like us to call ourselves Israelites, even though Ishmaelites, man, they don't like us to say that. And if you was to ask them, okay, your thing's the final thing, right? Your book's the final book. What nationality am I? What nationality am I? Show me from your book why my people went through hardcore slavery. Show me. Since it's the final thing, right? Show me in your book why my people went through the Atlantic slave trade. Show me in there. Show me. Don't do no fancy speech where you keep your feet close together and start bring your three fingers to your mouth, and every time you say a word, you push them away and bring them back. Don't start doing none of that, right? Show me in your book why my people went through hardcore slavery, and show me in your book why my people, no matter how smart we are and how much talent we got, we just don't seem to ever get no wins out here. Show us that. Since your book's the final book. Because we know that the Bible's got curses in there. But does the Quran mention those things in there? No, it don't, man. And that's why it's so hilarious that some of these wicked ass people out there, these agents and these spies and all these enemies of the Israelites and of Yahawah and of Yahawashi and of the Bible and of the elect to the nation of Israel, that they want to try and associate us with these people, man. That's what part of their ideas that they have to try and set us in a snare. But them people ain't got nothing to do with the Israelites. They ain't got nothing to do with the Bible, man. The doctrine that the Hebrew Israelites speak doesn't even have nothing to do with the same things as what these so-called Christians speak, man. So when these boggarts try and see Israelite, they'll try and come with all the madness that they've heard Christianity say. Oh, he ain't the God. He ain't God. How can it? We know he ain't. We know he ain't. And guess what though? There ain't no virgin birth. And then that's where they want to try and and they want to try and make it be a thing where they can keep trying to associate what they've heard from Christianity to us, as if they're not understanding that we're against that whole doctrine that they teach, and as if they don't know that we're saying that those people are not the Israelites. But if these clowns was to ask their grandfathers and their great grandfathers and their grandmothers that live closer to those lands, to the land of Israel, who we are, they're gonna get told by their grandparents, yeah, they are. They are. They're exactly who they said they are. They're gonna get told that, but they don't want to do that because they want to have that same stupid idea in their mind that we're just black thugs, man. They don't want us to be Israelites neither. Despite their talk, and they want to try and call us their brother all the time. They ain't no brother of ours, man. They are enemy too. Esau's our enemy. Even some of our own people, like the 2/3, they're our enemy too, man, because they don't want us to be Israelites neither. They want us to just be black. And the women want to just be, most of the women want to be twerk machines, twerk monsters, twerk demons. And that's why y'all twerking in London in convertible cars, getting in crashes and losing your lives, man. Because you just want to be a twerk demon all day. Verse 5, they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against me, and they're all in on this, man. All of these nations at the highest level are against us to try and shut us down, man. And even at the lower levels, they don't know the reason why they do it, but all these nations are against us, man. So if there's a situation where we deserve justice, the majority of the time they're not going to give it us, and they're going to make an excuse why the person that's tried to disturb our life should go free in some kind of way, man. The majority of the time. The majority. Not all the time, but the majority of the time, we don't get no justice for the things that people do against us, man. Because they're all in on it together to try and keep us down, because us being down has allowed them to get a lot of wealth, because there's one whole nation, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, that are really one nation together, that if they don't have anything, well, then they have to go to all of us for things, and that's what they've understood, man. They've understood the assignment, and they've tried to keep us down, man. Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. So these Ishmaelites are part of our enemy too, man. The Edomites, the so-called white man, they are enemy. Moab, which is the so-called Chinese, and the Hagarenes, which is another way of saying the Ishmaelites, man. And then it goes, verse 7, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, which is them small hats, Amalek. The Philistines, which is what people try and call Africans, and they try and associate with being us. Those neck bone people, man. Those ones that will have all that dodgy stuff going on with their neck bone, the dodgy rings around their neck, the elongated ears. They've been doing that jumping skank, where they jump 25 meters in the sky, shake themselves around like a dead fish, right? Like a fish out of water, and land back down, catching a whole bunch of airtime, and they ain't got nothing to do with us. They are not our people, man. Right? There's many enemies of the Israelites, man. Many enemies. We got so many. So many enemies, man. And these people are really enemies of Yahawashi, right? They're really enemies of Yahawashi. They hate Yahawashi. As much as all them Ishmaelites want to say, oh, we believe in it. No, you don't, man. If he was on the earth, you'd hate his guts. And you'd realize that he don't like you. John chapter 15 and verse 18, if the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. So lucky, man. Let me try and drink some water, man. Verse 18 again, if the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own. So if people like you too much in this world, man, and I'm not on about if a man's ways please the Lord, it causes even his enemy to be at peace with him. I'm about like, you're almost like one of them guys around here you loved, man. Like a Idris Elba type guy, and you just loved, man. You can't do nothing wrong, and you can just stay with it. That's a bit suspicious, man. Because that means that there's something about you that they find pleasing. You don't, your spirit doesn't rub them the wrong way, but you're supposed to, even though you're not doing nothing to harm none of these people, there's supposed to be something about you that just when you get around, it's almost like they don't want you to be there, man. And they'll be passive aggressive. They'll be trying to make sneaky comments about you. You know what I mean? They'll be trying to talk about you, about your kind of how you are, without actually coming out straight and saying that they're talking about you, man. Cowardly. That coward ass stuff, man. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. These people hate our guts, man. All that talk about So like, yeah, all that talk about how we can find a common ground and all of that, that's BS, man. They don't want us to have our own thing separate from them because they've seen the power of what we're actually saying, right? All these Ishmaelites, all these Edomites, all these nations, and they know that it means that we actually are somebody if we're the Israelites. They know that it brings a spiritual aspect to the Atlantic slave trade. They'll know that that means there's a reason for that. And they'll also know that there's a judgment for it because they've heard about the story of Exodus. Or everyone's heard about that story. So they'll know that if the Atlantic slave trade was done to the Israelites, well then there's gonna have to be a judgment for that, man. And they don't want to see that happen. They don't want to see a judgment happen. They don't want to see justice for our people, man. They want our people to just have to bow down to whatever madness they've got going on, man. And there's so many enemies of our people, man. So many. And really, all of these people are enemies of Yahawah. They're enemies of Yahawashi, man. These people don't, as much as they say they do, they don't love Yahawashi. They don't love him, man. They don't want him. They don't want his true quality to be put out in the earth. They want to say it don't matter, but they never said it don't matter with the other image. Isn't that funny? None of them never said nothing about the other image, though. But when it comes to him being dark-skinned, now it don't matter all of a sudden. Or now they already knew that, but they never used to tell us that, though. They never used to, when they wanted to tell us everything else about religion, they never wanted to tell us that part, though, innit? Every single time when all these people wanted to always tell us about religion, they never told us, when they was trying to bring us into the religion, they never told us, oh, and by the way, he was a so-called black man and you're in fact the Israelite. They never told us that. Yet they all knew. Apparently now all of a sudden, innit? Yeah, right, man. 1 John chapter 2 and verse 18, little children, it is the last time. And as ye have heard that Anti-Mashiach shall come, even now there are many antichrists, whereby you know that it is the last time, and there's many. All these people that want to say that about the Lord, no, you're not, man. You're a liar. You're a lying demon. You don't love the Lord. They don't love the Lord, man. Because they want to make it be a thing where he don't deserve to be worshipped. But that's because his sacrifice didn't really cover their wicked spirit, man. Even the Israelites that want to say that his sacrifice didn't really cover them in this time of this life now, man. It covered them in general because Yahawashi died for the whole nation, but they know that there's something that they would have, their spirit really was one of those spirits that was cursing Yahawashi out, man, and was against him in the time when he was on the earth. They would have been against him, man. Or they was physically back there and really did curse him out in that time, man. They're one of them wicked spirits reincarnated again to curse him out. 1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby ye know the spirit of God. Every spirit that confesseth that Yahawashi is come in the flesh is of God. And there's a lot of people that want to say, he was a spirit, even of our people, right? But then even among these other people, they don't want to give too much reverence to the flesh that he actually did come in, man. They want to say it don't matter what color he was. Well, that's what you say. That's what you say, man, because you're just demons, man. So you want it to be a thing where we don't have nothing that we can have as a history, man. Because you've enjoyed us being black. You've enjoyed that part of our lifetime, man, where we were just black and didn't know anything, you know? And where you can just come up to us and call us brother and we start believing you. You enjoyed that, but when we actually have got some knowledge and understanding and a history that we can say is ours and that we actually believe that, you don't like how it feels, man. Because you people are our enemy, really. But really, more importantly, you're enemies of Yahawah and you're enemies of Yahawashi, man. And that goes for all these nations on the earth, all of them, man. I've mentioned some in particular, but really, all of these people on the earth, man, are our enemy. If a person doesn't believe in the true doctrine of the Bible, right, regardless of their color, they're an enemy, man. Because we know that the Israelites are going to look like every single nation, because part of the curses that the Israelites winning was not for them to be cast away as a nation. It was that they was going to be cast into different lands, right? Scattered into different lands, man. And in that scattering, that was obviously going to cause for some of them to look different, for them to look like all the nations that they were scattered into, right? But I'm going to end the lesson there, man. There's many enemies of the Israelites, and all of them are going to be humbled when the Israelites receive their glory, man. Shalom.